Hey gang, welcome to Chapter 8 of the Crucible Chronicles. In this chapter, we're going to be attempting to get a one-turn kill. So the idea behind this challenge is you forge all 3 keys on one turn to obviously win the game. Now, there's a little bit of a complication with this. I don't actually have any decks that are good at doing this, and in fact, I've never actually accomplished a one-turn kill with any of my decks. As best I can tell, I have 2 decks that are capable of it. So we'll get into looking at the deck we're going to be playing for this challenge, but I feel like I should put it out there that instead of the one-turn kill challenge, this is the like janky one-turn kill challenge. So let's take a look at the deck. As I mentioned, I have actually 2 decks that could, in theory, pull off a one-turn kill. Neither of them are good at doing it, but I have a fair amount of plays with this deck. 4-guy, Kremen Liev, Ambermaker, Oak. Now this deck has been a good amount of fun for me. It definitely swings high and swings real low. I'm primarily going to talk about the logos in this deck. I don't want to spend a huge amount of time looking at the other stuff, but kind of the way that the one-turn kill could happen is through logos, and it takes like an obscene amount of setup in order to pull off the one-turn kill. Firstly, you have to go into a turn essentially forging a key. So you have to forge at the beginning of your turn, and then you can kind of start with some of the logos nonsense that this deck has. So for starters, there are 3, yes, you saw that right, 3 Professor Sutterkins. And on top of that, as if 3 weren't enough, there's also a replicator. So if any of the Sutterkins survive, you can use the replicator to copy that reap ability. So effectively we have 4 Sutterkins in the deck. 2 Titan Librarians, and I should mention we've got effectively 4 Sutterkins, and outside of our Sutterkins we've got 2 Titan Librarians, a Pip-Pip, a Jargoggle, and a Helper Bot. So if you count that up, that's 9 of our Logos cards are actually creatures. So in theory, you could be drawing 9 cards with each reap off of a Sutterkin. And that's kind of where the potential for the one-turn kill comes into play. Essentially, it requires forging your key, then getting enough Ember, however you manage to do that, Helper Botting into the key charge to forge another key, and then you have to standardize test to kill the Helper Bot, but you need to make sure you have something on the board that's big enough and has more power than the Professor Sutterkin. So when you standardize test, it kills your Helper Bot and not your Sutterkins. And then you reap to basically pick back up your Helper Bot in key charge, and then you can replay that combo to forge potentially a 3rd key. So obviously this works a lot better if you have a lot of Ember, but keep in mind that there will potentially be a good amount of Logos creatures on the board to reap with. And one of the other things that's really important in my experience with this deck is the Soul Snatcher. So getting the Soul Snatcher out early so you can get some value out of your Sutterkins, which are going to be targets and will probably be killed. And the other benefit of that is when you're going through this cycle of standardized testing, killing your Helper Bot and some other creatures, you'll also actually be gaining Ember via the Soul Snatcher, so that can kind of help work towards your 2nd key charge, or your 1st and 2nd key charge rather. Anyways, so let's hop into our first game. I think how it's going to work is if we can somehow manage to pull off the one-turn kill before 5 games are up or 5 episodes are done, then I'll switch over to my 2nd deck that can potentially do it. But you know, we'll deal with that when we get to it. So let's hop into today's game. Got ourselves a game. I should mention I am starting out at least on the just casual playlist here. I feel like this is a little bit of a silly challenge, so it might be a little bit more likely if we're not playing against some real crazy stuff. All right, we're playing against KeyFrogger, who's playing Provost Half Mom, the Handsome Lord. Got some gauntlets, triple gauntlets, a couple flamethrowers, and that's like what, 5 artifacts already, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 artifacts in Brobnar in that deck. Ooh, look at that, and the Oath of Poverty. That's gonna be huge. All right. So we're going 2nd. The thing that I essentially always do with this deck is just mulligan Mulligan for the Soul Snatcher. Oh my. Well, that is certainly one start. Alright, so the Subtle Maul comes down. I think we just have to go to Logos. I'm definitely pretty sad that we're not going to have the Soul Snatcher down yet, but we might be able to sort that out next turn. So we'll play out Titan Librarian, Professor Sutterkin, our Goggle with the Banish. What do you want to archive? Ooh. See, maybe the... Actually, I'm going to start archiving some of this Untamed stuff. That's just usually what I do. It's usually what I do. Got Brobnar coming down. Pound. Okay. Okay. And the Gauntlets. I think we probably go back to Logos here. I think we go back to Logos. We're not going to pick up our archives. We'll Reap with the Sutterkin to draw 3 more cards. Oof. Bit of a bummer. Hoping for at least one of our other Logos creatures. We'll end our turn and archive. Another Logos, or another Untamed card. Alright, go into Shadows. Got rid of our Song of Spring. That was actually pretty lucky. Whistling Darts. And archives are Banish. And sack of coins. Yeah, see, so this is like case in point why you have to get the Soul Snatcher down. You just have to do it. We can go with a Dis here. What other damage do they have? Damage out of hand. We could call Sanctum. Be pretty good. Well, if they've got any of their Brobnar creatures, which actually they don't really have a huge amount of Brobnar creatures, so maybe we go with this here. We'll pick up our archives. We'll banish the Yantzee Gang. Discard the Ember Imp. We'll have the Dust Imp, and then the Restring Guntus to lock out Sanctum. And end our turn. I hate to say it, folks. I don't think we're getting the one-turn kill this game. I don't think it's happening. We had some potential there early on. That was a pretty good leading hand. Pretty much my ideal starting hand would be like a couple Sutterkins. Okay, Whistling Darts. Alright, so that's pretty good. I have too much to protect. Nope. Alright, we'll go with Untamed. Just to make sense. Play out double Full Moon. We'll play out the Fuzzy Gruen for a boatload of amber. Play out the Marmo Swarm for a boatload of amber. Oh, our bummer. The Inca got mauled. I was actually going to use that. I was actually going to use that with the Yantzee Gang. Hazardous 3. Bummer. I don't actually care about any of these having Hazardous. Put it on the Marmo Swarm. Yeah, so my ideal starting hand with this deck would be like 2 Sutterkins, a Helper Bots. Would be like Titan Librarian, double Sutterkin, Helper Bot, and Soul Snatcher going as the second player. That would be like pretty ideal. And so we got a second Gauntlet coming down. Gave everything Skirmish. Pretty good. Alright, so we'll forge our blue key. Rip the Dream. Okay, the little Rapskull. Super great. It's super great for us. But we could go Logos. We're not going to be generating Ember anyways. The Yancey Gang I wouldn't mind getting rid of. Could kill the little Rapskull. Kill the Yancey Gang. I'm definitely worried about the... this deck has like literally no Ember control. Got nothing. I think I'm going to go Logos here. Can get rid of 4 cards. Put out some stuff that's useful. We'll do the Helper Bot to the right. I did this wrong. Guess we do Gub to the right. Then Pip Pip. Not that anything's currently going to be reaping. It does leave us at check. Just leave us at check, which is pretty good. Oh, there we go. Our Bumblebird. Oh, the Bumblebird. What a card. Could actually get some value out of it this time. A beefy Marmo Swarm. So they can steal one with the Yancey Gang. They do have the Screech Bomb. They definitely have some ways to get us off check. They haven't called Sanctum yet. Obviously, I Restringuntus them out of it, but I played a couple turns since then. Ooh, hits the Key Charge. That's a pretty good maul. Definitely a pretty good maul. And they go with the action to steal one. My question is, do I actually make use of this unlocked gateway? I get 4 Ember out of this Dust Imp. With a little Nif. What are my other options here? Fighting Lil Nif and this other stuff. I don't think so. So let's go with this. We'll go with this. We'll fight the Dust Imp, the Yancey Gang. We'll exhume the Dust Imp. Then we'll play the Unlocked Gateway to kill everything. Puts us at 9 Ember. Could definitely be better. Let's see. We've seen, what, 2 of our Setterkins? Yeah, 2 Setterkins. Got a nice little trick with Logos where we can throw down the Replicator and then potentially reap with a later turn. Okay, so they have Oath of Poverty. We forge that key. Question is, do we try and see if we can't get another Setterkin? We're only going to draw 2 cards. I guess we'll get Library of Babel, so we could get it off that. Or we could get some other sad thing. Wonder if we just throw out this Untamed. How much Untamed have we seen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's likely we're going to pick up some dis. But I wouldn't mind getting this Replicator down. They're sitting at enough for a lot of keys. Let's go with Logos. We'll pitch the standardized testing. We'll reap the draw card. Pull out the Titan Librarian and the Replicator. Oh, here we go. Could have a pretty sweet disc turn. Could grab our Sutterkins that way. Right, they're going with shadows. Swindled. They swindled 3. Okay, let's go with this. We play out the Lash. Play out the Lash. Gangoose will deal 3 damage to a creature if it is not destroyed. Its owner discards a random card from their hand. Let's do not finish with you yet. So we'll grab the Helper Bots. The Titan Librarian, double Sutterkin. Sure. And then does this work on us? It does. Nice. Oh my gosh, the Soul Snatcher is on the bottom of the deck. All right, here comes the shadows. Let's see if they can just kill our stuff. All right, let's go with Logos. I think it might be a little bit too late. Play out a Sutterkin. Play out a Sutterkin. I'll draw a card to pick up a Titan Librarian. Play out a Titan Librarian. Play out a Helper Bot. And we just gotta believe. We just gotta believe in the dream. Come on, give us what we need. I don't know what we need, but copy the Sutterkin. Oh, no good. We can reap here. Play out a Pip Pip. Play out a Sutterkin. But it's too late. Too late. Standardized testing doesn't do anything for us. We needed another Sutterkin out there. Exhume. Well, I mean, I can standardize testing, right? Hold on a second. Soul Snatcher. Oh, we don't have the key charge. I could play the Soul Snatcher. Play the Soul Snatcher. We can standardize testing. We can exhume. Exhume the Helper Bot. Oh, we can exhume. RIP. Oh, what was I thinking? The Soul Snatcher, of course. Of course. Ah, well, that's it. That's it. We couldn't do it. Oh, yeah. Let's go ahead and archive some stuff. Well played, KeyFrogger. Well done. Oh, man. Such a big difference if you can't get the Soul Snatcher out. Such a big difference. Anyways, so looks like the OTK eludes us in this episode. Maybe next time, though. I will see you all on Tuesday.